Hello, everyone. It's Monday, July 31st. I appreciate you staying with us and everything, and we've got several things to discuss and lots going on. It seems like, we get further behind, but nevertheless, I do want to report to you a little bit on Alders from Broadus. There was a meeting scheduled for last Friday. I asked if we could postpone that meeting and everything. Can't postpone it for very long. Got students coming to the school, or students who are going to have to be rerouted, maybe to at least offer other possibilities of where they could go. I do believe that now there's a scheduled meeting, at 3 o'clock today. I really thought that was going to happen at 10 o'clock this morning and everything, but I think. Again, everyone and I, we're in constant contact with everybody, whether it be HEPC, Sarah Tucker, whether it be, the Senate President, President Blair, the Speaker of the House, Speaker Hanshaw, the school president. I mean, we're in contact with everybody, and I think it's fair to say just this, that. I don't think anybody wants the school to close. But with all that being said, it may very well be inevitable that is exactly what happens and everything, because there is just so many, mountains here that and barriers that have been crossed, and not crossed necessarily in a wrong way, but the school's got a lot of strikes against it right now, and it may very well be inevitable, but what we should do is allow the school their due, allow the HEPC to be able to do their job. I am absolutely 100,000% confident in Sarah Tucker and the HEPC that they're going to do everything that they can possibly do, but they're going to do their job, and that's what they should absolutely do. And I'm very proud to say, that. Our Senate President has done great in this, and our Speaker of the House the same. I stand rock solid with them, and I think at the end of the day, we'll come to a resolution. It may not be the resolution that that some want, but it'll be fair, and it will be an effort that everybody's made to do any and everything we can to save the school. But with all that being said, I also underline wholeheartedly that this is not a brand new problem, and there's been a lot of mountains and barriers that have been created by whatever it may be, and the inevitable may be the inevitable. But with that being said, let's let the folks do their job at 3 o'clock and let the school have their due as well. At 2 o'clock today, I'm going to go up and at the deployment ceremony of the West Virginia National Guard, those folks that are headed to the border, there's 54 National Guard members that are deploying to Texas. Governor Abbott has been great and really appreciates, our assistance, and like it or not like it, but the bottom line is just this, and it can't be any more than just this. Every single day that more and more people cross that border, more and more potential bad things happen to West Virginia. We're a long ways away, but we should step up and do our part. And the National Guard, how good have they been forevermore, and how good will they be forevermore in the future? They are the greatest of the greatest, and we should absolutely be so proud. I mean, I've waded the mud with them, and I have absolutely saluted them with great honor. They are absolutely the best, and we should be so proud. And as I understand, these 54 that are going have all volunteered to go. It doesn't surprise me a bit in the world, but again, we should be so thankful, so thankful for how they stand up and all the great work that they do for West Virginia and this great nation every day. So again, I'll be honored to be at their deployment ceremony, and at 2 o'clock today. I want to announce, our back-to-school sales tax holiday. They will begin on this Friday at, on August the 4th, and they will end on Monday, August the 7th at midnight. And so over the weekend, please take advantage. Take advantage, and because this is just a way to give a little assistance to all the families that are putting kids back in school, and our kids will be headed back to school real soon. I spoke to the Nucor CEO. Leon and I had a great conversation on oh gosh, the days seem like they're running together. It's Friday, and they finally got their 404 permit from the U.S. Army Corps. We're really proud that the U.S. Our Corps of Engineers worked with them diligently, and this is a great big game changer here. You talk about a huge game changer for economic development in Mason County and all throughout West Virginia. This is really good. Leon was really happy. Different players, whether it was Ben or Chad, from Nucor, great friends and good people. But nevertheless, we're so happy for them, but we're so happy for us. I mean, this is absolutely a major game changer in West Virginia. So it took a little while to get this permit, but the Corps came through, and we're off and running now. Same good information and good stuff about the MVB pipeline and everything. Our U.S. Supreme Court did what absolutely they've done over and over in recent times and everything. They used wisdom and they used judgment. And the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, I don't have any idea why in the world or what they were doing, but they stopped construction, and now we're off and going in a great way there. And not only, just think about it. Just think of the jobs. Just think of the royalties. Think of the revenue to the state of West Virginia. Think of how valuable this resource is to the world, to this nation, the security of this resource and everything. And so we're really happy to be able to go back to work. And I'll promise you those folks are working very diligently right now. Here's some more good news. We were ranked 3rd in the nation as the best state in the union to retire in. I don't know how. I've said this so many times, and I say it very proudly. Whether it was Baby Dogs Heine to Bette Midler, no matter what it may be, we have got to be, and there's no one more prouder of West Virginia than I. All this information is just more and more good stuff that's happening in this great state. We have known forevermore how great West Virginia truly is, how these incredible seasons, how pristine our air and our waters are, absolutely how the fact that we've got smart people in West Virginia, we've got a diversified economy going on, we've got so many things all around us right at our fingertips. We abound in natural resources off the chart. With all that being said, just think, there is no better place to live in this country than West Virginia. And now, here's further confirmation that we are the 3rd best in the country, the most affordable, the first most affordable state to live in of all the states. And think about this just a second. We've got low taxes. We've got no taxes on Social Security. We've got the 4 incredible seasons. We're within a rock's throw of 2/3 of the population of the country. It is absolutely the best place on the planet to live. And so many travel guides and everything, a destination or magazines are saying, West Virginia, greatest place on the planet to go visit. Well, it's absolutely a better place to live. So we welcome any and all in this great state. I would say this to you, that The bottom of the list included states like Alaska was 50th, New York was 49th, and California was 48th. Now, we'll take all the folks that want to come from New York and California and Alaska, provided they come and don't bring craziness to us. But nevertheless, great place, great state, the very, very best to live in, and we've known it forevermore. So that's all I got right now.
All right, thank you, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Eric Miner with WBOY.
Good morning, Governor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we have you.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So I'm a little confused. Did the meeting happen this morning between members of the HEPC, Alderson Broaddus University, state legislators, and yourself, or was that meeting postponed?
The meeting did happen this morning, and my chief of staff was there, and I think there's a follow-up meeting that's going to be at 3 o'clock. But I've been in contact with these people constantly, and I'll promise you this: the one thing that I wanted to make sure that everyone would do is just double, triple check, as to if there's a way, if there's anything that we've missed. That was my desire. So I hung the phone up last night. My last call in regard to Alderson Broaddus last night was at 10 o'clock. So a lot of people worked all through the weekend. I appreciate them kind enough to work with me through the weekend. Last call with the legislature that I had last night or yesterday evening was at 5, and so the Senate President and Speaker of the House on the phone, all of us on the phone with my Chief of Staff and me, and great conversations. Again, I really appreciate the great work that they've done.
All right, thanks, Eric. Next to Michael Lemley with West Virginia News.
Hi, this is Michael Lemley with WB News. I wanted to ask more broadly about financial situations at higher education, between the situation at AB and the situation at WVU. I'm wondering, Governor, what initiatives or what avenues you and your office are looking at to support these institutions. Specifically, are you looking at possibly allocating more funding to colleges and universities as part of the budget when you propose it to the legislature next year? Thank you.
Michael, I know just the natural knee-jerk reaction, and it's just this. All of a sudden we've got dark clouds, whether it be at WVU or other universities and everything, and so there's some dark clouds. We've got surpluses over here on this side, Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And here's what you need to do. Absolutely, the best way that I can possibly describe this is exactly what I've tried to do with Alderson Broaddus. Michael, and forgive me to give you this analogy, but you're walking through the woods and you look in front of you, and 10 feet away there's a rattlesnake laying there all coiled up. What do? Do you jump and get scared and take off running to the left or to the right or behind you, or what do you do? Well, I'm going to tell you what you do if you've got good sense. You stand still. You stand still, because many times rattlesnakes, travel in pairs. And it could very well be that if you jump very hastily to the left or to the right or go behind you, you just may encounter his buddy. So with all that being said, in my world, I stand still for a moment, for just a moment, until I can assess the situation. We need to absolutely assess the budgets, and we need to look at the situation before we just start throwing money at it and everything else, and then awaken to the fact that really and truly somebody's just not doing a very good job. So with that in mind, that's exactly what we'll do. And we do have some surpluses, and we've got great surpluses, and we're gonna keep working on this, and we're gonna make the best decisions that we can possibly make. We already put a lot of dollars into our colleges and our universities, and if need be, and we're not putting enough money into our colleges and universities, we'll find that out. And if we find out that we're putting plenty into our colleges and universities, we'll go in that direction as well.
All right, thank you, Michael. Next to Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon, Governor and staff and fellow reporters. Governor, I want to kind of drill down on a question I talked to you about last week. As I mentioned, Child Protective Services, or CPS, has been paying hotels, motels, and other locations such as Camp Virgil Tate to house foster kids who have yet to find families. These are usually the hard-to-place older foster kids, including many teenagers. Have you spoken to DHR Secretary personally about this, and what can be done to resolve the problem, which may involve dozens, if not hundreds, of foster kids and is potentially very expensive to the state?
Mark, just like I told you what I'd do, and our folks, have been in contact with many people beyond Secretary personally, but nevertheless, here's what we have found. And it's easy, Mark, for yourself or anyone to come up with a bigger number than what we found. We found that there's currently 25 kids that are either in hotels or Camp Virgil Tate or wherever it may be statewide, and it's not hundreds, but it is 25. And one is too many. That's all there is to it. And I can tell you that all kinds of other states are facing the same dilemmas and same problems. I am a real believer that we need to do a lot of things. We need more pay for our foster, families. We need lots and lots of stuff. But the one thing, Mark, that I give you so much credit for, and I love you totally to death, and you know that, and it's just this. By you bringing awareness, more and more awareness, it will absolutely drive us to do more and more good for these kids. I guess it was on Friday, we were in Wheeling, and there was a great big announcement from the standpoint that Orchard Park, a new 40-bed facility that's going into Wheeling, to be able to deal with a lot of bad problems that kids are having. It'll help. But we need to do more and more and more and more. I can't thank you enough. And I mean it. I really mean it. You know me and kids, and you know that I love kids beyond good sense. And I'm in and out of the schools right and left and everything. And kids today, heaven to Betsy, I don't know how many times I just say just this. I mean, for crying out loud, when I grew up, we had our school clothes and play clothes, and life was so simple. Today, kids are bombarded in every direction, all this social media junk and everything that's going on. It is really tough to be a kid today. And so as you're pulled in all those directions and everything, and God knows, just think, if you didn't have a mom and a dad, or you were hungry, or you just needed support and love, I mean, how tough would it be then? And so Mark, I thank you. And we're going to just stay on it. Everybody's working on this, and we're trying to make it better and better every day.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next to Sarah Sager with WSAZ.
Hi, Governor. Last week, we aired an investigation that centered on a conflict of interest involving West Virginia Department of Transportation Secretary Riston and the company that employs his son. We have documented instances of the secretary's involvement, many additional instances, more than the two in the investigation last Friday, of him signing off, awarding, administering these projects dating back years, and some still being signed off on in this year to date. We also know that no disclosures were ever made to the Federal Highways as required. Are you launching an investigation into this matter? Do you think there's a violation of laws and regulations here? And should the secretary ever be involved in projects awarded to his son's company in any way?
Okay, Sarah, you know, just stay with me just 1 second, okay? And let's be really fair and make sure that we've got the facts to the best of your knowledge and the best of my knowledge. You know, here's what I know. I know, first of all, we're not launching an investigation in any way at this point in time. You've got to know this, Sarah, for what I know, and that's all I can go on. For what I know, I have the utmost confidence in Jimmy Wriston, and I think absolute Jimmy Wriston has done a great job. From what I know, Sarah, you know, as far as him signing, you know, as a committee member, you know, I do not think that is correct. I don't think Jimmy personally signed anything. You know, I think the secretary signed his signature, but I do not think that Jimmy was on that committee. Now, with all that being said, you know, we absolutely need to continue to look and everything, and I don't absolutely want to challenge Sarah here because, you know, this doesn't need to be, you know, a volleyball match. I mean, at the end of the day, from what I know, you know, the Michael Baker firm is an international firm. His son worked for the Michael Baker firm. I do not think that Jimmy was on that committee and everything. I do think there was a mistake made by the secretary, you know, pinning Jimmy's name on that. Jimmy, from what I understand, did not personally sign that, you know, and I do know that from the standpoint of that I know right now from my people and everybody reporting to me, and Sarah, I'm going to be the first to say that if they're wrong, then I'll take a very different approach to this. But absolutely, I believe that there's not been monies misspent. I do not believe that anybody, you know, got a home run on something. I don't think there was anything inappropriate in any way, except, you know, I do think that Jimmy Wriston's name was signed on this, and I think the Department of Transportation is correcting all that, and I think you'll be made abreast of all that if not already done.
All right, thanks, Sarah. Governor, back to you.
Sarah, I want to say this too. I can't be expected to know every single thing there is, and I would tell you this, I appreciate you checking into this. And at the end of the day, if the information that I'm getting is inaccurate, then I'll look at it in a different way, because I want everybody here, everything to be above board, and I want everybody here doing the right stuff. So nevertheless, again, thanks to everybody on the questions, and we'll be back to you real soon. Thank you so much.